Well, firstly, thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words, and I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Now, I want to expand on this just a little bit because I've noticed that since I posted the video explaining why I needed a break, people have really latched onto the comments that I made about the negativity in the community being a contributing factor. The truth is that the negativity in the community was a very, very small portion of what was going on. I just had a lot of other stuff happening in my life. I felt like I was very stuck and I was experiencing burnout because I was pumping out content and I wasn't seeing any real growth. It was a steady increase, but it wasn't an increase that was going to overall get me to my goal in a reasonable amount of time. And so I just started to feel kind of burned out and defeated because I was spinning my wheels and I wasn't getting any traction that I needed in order to get out of the situation that I felt like I was stuck in. That was the primary reason that I left. The negativity in the community was coming from a very small portion of the community, like a handful of individuals, just a handful of very loud individuals. Now, their criticisms and their comments about my content is totally fine and valid. In fact, I think that everyone having a different opinion of the things that I say or the theories that I come up with is kind of the entire point. I want you to disagree with me. I want you to argue against my theories. I want you to argue against my content because that's the whole point. That's how we keep the fandom alive. The truth is that we're not getting much content for Kenshi 2 right now. We haven't heard much. We're not getting much information. And Chris and Nat are not going to reveal too much to us. They said so in the recent interview. They're not going to give us any information because they don't want to spoil anything. And while I respect that, we also have a job as members of the community and for me as a content creator to keep the fandom alive in that interim period and prevent the fandom from burning out. And that means promoting discussion. That means theorizing. That means speculating. That means doing things that are going to encourage conversation and get people into the game in the interim period while we're waiting for Kenshi 2. Which was the entire point of all of the videos that I make, is to expand on the lore, to theorize, to speculate, to encourage discussion. Now, the problem that I was having, the negativity in the community that I was experiencing, wasn't towards me and my content. It existed, but I don't really care about that, right? Like, people are allowed to have differences in opinions. They're allowed to not like my stuff. That's the whole point. That stuff has never bothered me. I'm 100% okay with people not liking my stuff and disagreeing with me. I'm okay with that. The problem that I had was that I started seeing people in the community attack other people in the community for liking my content, for believing my theories, for finding them compelling. There was one particular instance that I saw in which someone said their first experience with the Kenshi community was getting screamed at by another prominent member of the community because they liked my content. That was their first experience. And so amidst everything else that I had going on, I admittedly started to wonder if I was becoming a negative aspect of the community. Now, obviously, I've reflected on all that and I don't feel that way anymore. And I never really felt that way before. It was just a lot. I had a lot going on and I was really stressed out, and that was just adding to the pile. But again, the negativity that I was experiencing, the negativity that other people were experiencing as a result of my content was not the main reason why I left. I just needed a break because of everything that was a small aspect of it. But this is probably the last video that I'm going to make on it. I don't want to make it like a whole series or make it a big thing. It's just, that is what it was. But again, the negativity, very small aspect, very small.